Hi, I'm Suze Shaner with Sage Leadership Strategies, and I'm your host today of Community Forum. And I have two guests today. The first is Barbara Stauder, who is a Master Gardener affiliated with the Yukon Extension Office in Stony Hill in Bethel, Connecticut. Welcome, Barbara.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. And the second guest is Sandy Wilson, who is the Fairfield County Master Gardener Program Coordinator at the Yukon Extension Office in Bethel as well.
Hi, nice to be here. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining. So we're going to talk about what Master Gardening is, what goes on at the Bethel Yukon Extension Office in terms of programs, and then the current state of that program and what folks could do to ensure its ongoing existence. So let's start with Master Gardening. Maybe, I don't know who wants to take that. Barbara, do you want to take that? You're a Master Gardener. Do you want to talk about what it is and how you came to be a Master Gardener?
Sure, I can do it from my perspective. Master Gardening is a program that is offered by Yukon Extension, and it is about a 9-month program that you take and you actually become certified as a Master Gardener. And it really covers from A to Z a lot of the gardening aspects that can interest anybody, from, how to grow your lawn, to how to grow organic vegetables, to grow pollinators, to you understand about insects, and you understand about plant diseases. And it is something you commit to when you take this program. And then once you've graduated, and that even involves some testing and some projects, you work out in the community with existing Master Gardeners, and you learn more about what the program offers, and you also work with the community, because the real purpose of Master Gardening is, though you learn yourself, it is to share this with the community. Yeah, that's my thoughts, Sandy. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything to add to that? Because I do want to, Sandy, and I do want to ask you some follow-on questions, Barbara, before we go there. So do you have anything to add in terms of what Master Gardening is, Sandy?
Yeah, I think Barb said it right. I mean, the program is mainly a volunteer program. It's run by volunteers. They pass along their knowledge to other people and throughout the community. So it's a wonderful program. It's challenging. It takes about 9 months to complete. But people learn a lot of information about horticulture, all different topics. And then they go out and do all kinds of activities to assist the community. Everything from helping people plant gardens, community groups plant gardens, like schools. And
okay, so before we go there, I just want to pause for a sec, because just in terms of, before we talk about all the great programs in the community, I wanted to step back for a minute. Barbara, what made you decide to want to be a Master Gardener? Like, I'm assuming you were a gardener in your yard or tinkering around. At what point did you say, I want to go deeper in this?
Right. I had heard about the Master Gardening program actually from one of my friends since kindergarten back in Illinois, where I'm originally from. And back in those days, I actually was in 4-H from like age 9 to 18. And I actually didn't realize they had this Master Gardening program. And my friend and her husband took it, and they said it was just amazing. And they have it in every state. So as soon as I knew I was going to retire, I thought, this could be very interesting. And I researched it, and I just thought it would be a wonderful program to try. And it has been. So it was just something that I had an interest in, and then decided to pursue it.
Well, so that's interesting, because you've talked about it being quite an investment of time, and you said you waited until you were ready to retire. So I'm curious, because, I saw the demonstration and everything when I went to the local farmers market in Bethel, where the office is, and you've got a fantastic demonstration garden there, which we can talk about in a minute. But I'm curious, because it seemed to me a lot of the folks that are Master Gardeners that were there, from my perspective, I thought, okay, they're all retired. They have time to do this. Do you have folks who are younger than retirement age that do this too?
I'll let you answer that, Sandy.
Yes, we definitely do. We do offer the program on certain years in the evening, some years on Saturdays. So we do give other people the opportunity to be able to take the program, because normally it's during the work week. But we do offer those other options, and we do get younger people. In fact, lately, since the pandemic, we've seen a surge in people that are interested, young people that want to learn how to garden. So, and they want to give back to the community. So we see a round version from everybody. I mean, we have older people, we have people that are retired, we have younger people.
I was wondering about that because I was inquiring about the curriculum. And like, for example, I know you have something coming up in January and it's during the work week. So that automatically eliminates working people. I know you said sometimes you might have some other times. And I would think, in current these days, meaning there's a lot of focus on permaculture, on growing your lawns, not everybody cutting their lawns, and creating biodiversity in your lawns and doing things that are generative, on the planet. Curious if you can speak to that from a master gardening perspective.
Barb, did you want to take that one?
Well, you can take that one. You're more the expert. You're the.
I think master gardeners have been doing a lot of things for the environment. We've been getting involved with pollinator gardens, removing invasive plants that are out in public areas, public parks, which are taking over and pushing out all our native plants. So yeah, we get involved a lot with the environment. So what was your specific question on that, Suze?
Well, I kind of had two questions. One is just what you're doing specifically or targeted towards, yes, helping the planet and regeneration. And the second thing is how frequently you do offer options for non-working, for people who are working people, because I know like the next up and coming class is during the work week, which that automatically eliminates people who work.
Yeah, this year they're all during the day, and things are a little different because we had to make arrangements because we're having an issue with our location here this year. So they are going to be all during the day this year. But next year, or the year 2024, we'll offer another option, and so that will either be on a Saturday or the evening. So we do try to change that up a lot so that people have an opportunity to take it. It might not be this year for them, but it might be the following year.
Okay. So I want to talk very specifically about, we're going to talk about the location in a minute, but I want to talk about if somebody was interested in master gardening. I think there's 1,000 community hours and so many, is it 160 hours of coursework?
It's 16 to 17 weeks of coursework. It's about 160 hours. And it runs from January through April every year. And then you would have to take a midterm exam. And then after that, you have to put in 60 hours of volunteer time. 30 hours of that is in an internship in the office where we actually work with another master gardener and we answer gardening questions for clients and emails that we get from clients on gardening questions and things like that. And then the other 30 hours is out in the community, becoming involved in one of those projects that are either helping a community group or helping the environment.
Okay, so I got the 160 hours right. It was 1,000 hours volunteer. No, 90-hour volunteer. So what would
60 hours of volunteer? I'm sorry,
and 30 in the office. So isn't that 90?
No, that was 60 altogether.
Oh, 60 altogether. Okay, so what would be an example of a project in the community that somebody could get involved with?
Well, we have a lot of different projects, and that's what makes it wonderful. They can pick and choose, so they don't necessarily have to. It's what you're interested in that you can decide to sign up for. One of them is that lovely demonstration garden that we have on the premises here in Bethel. It's a 3,000 square foot vegetable garden that they could actually join the group that's working on that, and we donate all that produce to area food pantries. But then there's also things like doing talks with local gardening groups, or talks at the library for the public on gardening. We're involved in a lot of different things. As I said, some of the projects involve removing invasive species, plants that are taking over and pushing out the natives. We've planted a lot of pollinator gardens and rain gardens, work with land trusts and other environmental groups to help them.
Okay, so it's really an opportunity, obviously, to give back to the community, to share the knowledge. So it's always with the intention of becoming a master gardener that it's knowledge that you're going to share in the community in some way.
Correct. That's what makes this program so wonderful. The master gardeners are so selfless. They're always giving of their time, their energy, and not just with each other. And they share with each other, other master gardeners from year to year, and new interns they take under their wing. But then they also go out and share it with the general public too. So that's the main purpose of this program.
Okay, so just to let our viewers who are local to the Bethel, Newtown, Danbury, Connecticut area, it's right on Route 6, just past Big Y if you're headed towards Danbury, and across the street from Newtown Savings Bank. That garden that you have, that demonstration garden, is very inspirational. And I know it's open. Anyone can drive by at any point and look at it, but if you want to go in and walk around, it's locked up, but it's open on Saturdays from 9 to 1. And I think, is it Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 9 to 11?
Correct.
So it's really, I mean, I'm a gardener. I have a lot going on in my backyard, and I just very inspirational in terms of all the different kinds, not only kinds of plants, but different ways of protecting them with netting and all sorts of different things you have. So that's a great demonstration. Let's shift gears for a minute and talk about what's happening with your location.
Right. Well, I can start out. This property back in the 50s was designated and donated and acquired specifically for UConn to run their extension programs. An extension program is not just the Master Gardener program. Currently out of there, we also run the 4-H program, Urban Ag, and also Nutrition program. And over the years, Extension has had all kinds of programs depending upon what the needs are in the community. So back in the 50s, they worked with UConn, the State Department of Agriculture, the Farm Bureau, because they wanted to set up a location for Extension to operate in Fairfield County. Every county has an Extension office. So they were able to get this land through some donations and options to acquire the land through a local family in the area. And that is where that became the site. And then a charity was set up to oversee the property and maintain and develop the property for Extension to run its programs. And that's been going on for 65 years. But unfortunately, in about a little over 5 years ago, some new board members came on and felt that there was an issue or maybe it made sense to split the land off from the other original charity. And then so the land and some associated funds were transferred. And so this new entity that now owns the property has sent a lease termination to UConn Extension as of, it came in February. And they're basically forcing them off the property. And this is property that they've been at for over 65 years. And
so just
everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Barbara. So just to clarify, the Extension School is it 11 acres on this property?
Yes.
And so how much of that acreage is being terminated?
Well,
actually, it's all. I mean, they're saying UConn Extension needs to vacate all their programs, completely vacate the property.
And so what's your sense? I mean, Bethel has had a lot of buildup of different kinds of housing going in. There's a big project across the street. Do you have any sense of what they're going to do with that property? It seems a shame to force such a great educational program, multiple educational programs off this site.
We have not heard anything from the new charity, which is the Stony Hill Preserve, about why they are forcing Yukon from this site. And, you know, the sad thing is that this was land designated since the 50s specifically for extension use. You know, the way it was set up was that this charity ran it for extension. But by what they did in 2017, they allowed that land to slip from that other charity. And this is how they are getting around having us on here. They want us off, but they will not give us any reason why they're doing this. So we have no idea.
Yeah. Has there been any dialogue with this charity and Yukon Extension to try to resolve it and extend it? It sounds like there were some, you know, legal loopholes or whatever that they've been able to shift.
They have tried. Yes, there's been a lot. They've been trying to reach out to the Stony Hill Preserve, but they're getting nothing either. They're saying they are not going to discuss it.
So there's no dialogue back and forth. It's just you guys are terminated. That's it.
Yes.
So it seems like this program, from everything you've said, you're running multiple programs there, 4-H, the Nutrition Club, the Master Gardeners, et cetera, that have really benefited the community for 65 years. So if somebody locally was interested in trying to do whatever they could to have the extension program remain there, what can people do?
Well, we've a group of Master Gardeners have banded together early on to try to come up with a way to fight this, because we felt that this just did not make sense. And so there's several things people can do. Number one is, writing to the Attorney General, writing to your local government officials and your local state representatives. We have been communicating with many of those. So, you know, when they know that other people support this, you know, they band together and help us fight this. So that's one thing. And the second thing is we have put together a petition. We have a petition that we have available every Saturday and anytime we're at the garden, which is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Saturdays, that people can sign. We also have put the petition online. So we actually have an online version that you can access through the Demonstration Garden Facebook page. So those are things that can be very, very supportive of us, because if, you know, the more support we have, the better off it's, you know, the better chance that we have. And you know, and we've been trying to go to the media too, to share this with the public.
Well, I know, and that's where I was at just for folks, I went to the farmer's market and I was looking at your demonstration garden and I was so inspired. And then you had a table there and you had the petition. And I said, yes, I will sign the petition. I think you offer a wonderful service. And that's when I invited you to come on the show so folks could learn more about what's happening. Don't know, they're not responding. My guess is they want to terminate it. So, I mean, a lot of the surrounding land has been and is being developed. So maybe they think that's progress. I don't know.
Yeah, we are surrounded by development here. And this is a hot commodity, this piece of property, 11 and a half acres right on the main drag here. So we don't know what's going on, but we can only imagine.
But I was just going to say that also is why it's so important to maintain it, because we can't, it's never, where else are they going to find, we can't find any comparable property in Fairfield County to be able to run the program like we have. We're going to have to dismantle the demonstration garden and to try to, and that's been 10 years in the making. So the chances of trying to put that back together somewhere, and it's all been through volunteer and donated time and materials. And it's just like irreplaceable. So it's very frustrating.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. I mean, that garden's beautiful, and it does look like it was something that has developed over time. And to your point, this location is a great location. It's exactly almost equidistance, I believe, maybe a little closer to exit 8, between 8 and 9 off 84. So easy access for people. They were coming from another town to attend class or do whatever they wanted to do. And it's right there on a main road. And yet, because of the 11 acres, it does go back a ways. So you can get to some land that's not quite, right on the main drag there. However, the master garden demonstration is right there on the main drag, so people could see it even if they're just driving by, or they could pull in and park in and go take a look at it. I mean, it seems to me, especially in this day and age, where we want to do things that are preserving the natural world, it's such a shame.
It is. And one of the other things I wanted to point out, Suze, was that we have an office here that is open to the public. And one of the things that master gardeners do is staff this office. So people can come in and bring plant samples and insect samples and come in and ask gardening questions. And so we do that during the gardening season. And, we have about over 500 people that come to the office every year to bring samples. And that doesn't include all the emails that we get. And we have the hotline number where people can call. So we have built up clientele over this long period of time. They know where we are. They know how to find us. It's convenient for them to park here. So it would be a great loss to lose this location.
Well, you do have really good parking there as well. And that also is the site for the farmers market on Saturday. I wonder how many people know about your services. To be honest with you, I mean, I lived down the street for 24 years and I was like, oh, I never realized this. So meaning and I'm just like a natural gardener, I've never studied it or anything. I just, so if somebody had any kind of gardening questions, if they wanted to, I know they can send their soil away. I don't think you do soil testing there, right?
Correct.
But if people have questions and they wanted to bring in a bug and say, what's this bug? How do I get rid of this bug? Or other questions, I think you guys are a gem that's not well publicized. Like, how do you get the word out there that you're here?
I know. Extension has always been, like this secret. We try to publicize ourselves, but somehow or another, people don't realize we're here. Although, like I said, we do get a lot of people stopping by with, that have learned over the years and heard from other people. But there's extension offices in every county, each county, 8 different offices. We also have one at the Bartlett Arboretum up in Stamford. So these are all, you could go to any of your cooperative extension office and ask a master gardener a question or bring in a sample, and the service is free.
But aside from the Bartlett Arboretum in Stamford, like, this is the location for Fairfield County.
Correct. Bartlett Arboretum only runs a master gardener program. They're not an official cooperative extension office. We are the official cooperative extension office for all of Fairfield County.
Okay, so what that means then is, if this location goes, then it remains to be determined where else you can go and find a location in Fairfield County. A, B, probably unlikely you're going to find something with another 11 acres.
Correct.
So true.
Yeah.
But I mean, they would have realistically, they have to be looking for alternative offices, but, and then it's a new location. Nobody knows about it. And, even after COVID, it was hard to kind of get people back into the swing of things, that we were open again. And I mean, it'll just be devastating, I think, for the program.
Well, when does your lease terminate?
Well, actually, they gave us until August 31st, but there was a clause in the lease that allowed us to go month to month for another 6 months, but at 125% of the rent. UConn is doing that right now so that we could stay here, and for them to look for somewhere else, because it's not so easy to find what we need to have our programming. So.
Okay. So really this is imminent, meaning you're really in between trying to figure out what the next step is. Any word or progress at the state level in terms of your petitioning and your letter writing? Any feedback there?
Well, we know that the Attorney General is investigating. So we were happy to hear that the Attorney General was investigating this charity. It was the actual charities division. They have a charities division and they're investigating right now. So, and, you know, we encourage people to continue to write to the Attorney General and express their disappointment with this a decision that the Stony Hill Preserve has made. And also the town of Bethel, you know, you can contact the town of Bethel and tell them how important it is for us to stay here.
Okay, that's a good point too. Okay, so so a couple of things. Anything that people want to do in terms of advocating, either at the state level or Bethel, for the Yukon Extension program to stay at this location, and or if anybody had any ideas or suggestions or any ways to help support you finding another location as well, that would be welcomed as well. Yes?
Definitely.
Yes, of course it would. Of course.
I
it
mean,
would.
I know you don't
we
want to go
stay.
there, but
Our priority is to stay.
yeah, I know you want to stay, but let's say somebody had an idea about a great location, but either way,
Sure.
you guys, you have to find a home, either this home and figure out a way to stay there or find another home. We have 1 minute, a lot more we could cover, I know, but thank you for coming on. If anybody had any questions, comments on anything we talked about today, how might they contact you?
Andy?
Well, you can contact our Master Gardener hotline, which is 203-207-3262. You can also go to our website if you're interested in the program, which is www.mastergardener.yukon.edu. Actually, applications are online there now for the January classes that are coming up. And you could also contact me directly at 203-207-3261.
207-3261. That's 203-207-3261.
Correct.
Okay. All right, ladies, thank you so much for coming on the show, and wish Yukon Extension Program and the Master Gardener Program all the good wishes in the world.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm Suze Shaner with Community Forum. Until next time, thank you for joining us.